everyone, welcome back to this channel. This is Sean from PlayByPause. So today we have a new sequence on how to make a salad, inspired by Daniel Schiffer. So I believe you guys might be wondering who is Daniel Schiffer. Daniel Schiffer is a YouTuber, a filmmaker YouTuber, who creates awesome B-roll sequence in his channel. His channel shares a lot of tips and tricks, sometimes behind the scene, on how he achieved all these creative B-roll sequence. We definitely learn a lot from his channel, so you guys remember to check this out. So back to the topic. So this video was basically inspired by him, and we thought it would be fun to mimic some of his shooting style in this video together with our own personal style. So let's jump right into the behind the scene. First and foremost, this is my partner, CK. We have been working together for years, and finally he's back. Previously, he couldn't join us due to the movement control order in our country, but now it's fine, so you'll see him more often in the next video. First thing first, this project was shot entirely with my Sony a7 III with a Tamron 7028 and also Sony 90mm macro. As for lighting, we're using Godox SLB60W with a softbox with a grid. As for the gears that we are using, we have the Yelangu L4 motorized slider that we have mentioned in our past video, so definitely check out that video. And also my go-to gimbal, Zine Crane 2. And that's about it. So for the first shot, we thought it would be nice to have an established shot showing the ingredients of salads. Initially, we thought it would be nice to use the Laowa 24mm macro prom lens. Unfortunately, we do not have it, so we use our Tamron 7028 to get a similar point of view. The whole idea for these shots is to follow the tracks of the ingredients that we have laid out, and then use our cameras slide in, ends with CK grabbing the lettuce. We didn't do much take for this shot because this shot is mainly about the setup, so yeah. Next shot, we go for a push in so that we have a more consistent camera movement from our previous shots. And we set our camera to 130 frames per second because we know that we're going to slow down this shot in post, and we believe it looks good in slow-mo. This shot was easily done with handheld. Since it's a slow-mo, so minor camera jitter shouldn't be noticeable. So we have done the lettuce. Let's go to the next ingredients, which is the oranges, carrots, and also tomatoes. Since they are so small, so we go with a static shots of them dunking into water. This shot was easily done with a tripod and also Sony 90mm macro. Nothing fancy for this particular sequence, as we are trying to get as much perfect shot as possible. However, we did improvise one of the orange shot by doing a follow shots, and surprisingly, we are using this improvised version in the edits. Next, we go for another follow shot. We thought it would be nice to add in some action for this particular shot instead of the normal way. So I asked CK to toss the cucumber from one hand to another hand before placing on the cutting board. We have spent quite some time for this particular shot because we need to sync up our camera movement. And at the end, we spent like 20 minutes for this shot. So this sequence was shot entirely with handheld. The idea of this sequence is to show how we slice the cucumber into small pieces, and starting by cutting the top and bottom of the cucumber and then slice the cucumber into half. At first, we thought it would be nice to show the real process of cutting the cucumber into half, but you guys might have guessed it failed. So we kind of staged the shots by pre-slice the cucumber into half, and then we just fake the motion with the camera so that we can get a more perfect and smoother shots. Next, we thought it would be nice to have a one-take shot for this sequence, tossing the cucumber from the cutting board to the salad bowl, grabbing the carrots from another side of the table and drop into the salad bowl. But end up, we decide to edit this sequence into two parts so that it can match with the music accordingly. Next, this is a very interesting shot that we always wanted to try. It's the rolling sequence that inspired by one of the video from Daniel Schiffer. Me personally think this is a very smart technique to emphasize the rolling object instead of just doing a follow pan. We have been trying this shot for many rounds and it turned out great, but it turns out even better after we stabilize in post. For the following sequence, we try a different approach by switching to a gimbal and a Sony 90mm macro. because we just want to get a different point of view since we are using a wide angle lens for quite some time. FYI, I turned on the camera built-in stabilizer and also the lens stabilizer itself, even though I'm using a gimbal, because I just feel it looks much smoother. All these shots was done by doing simple sliding movement. And last but not least, some masking in post so that I can get a more seamless transition. Next, we went back to handheld with a wide angle lens. The idea of this sequence is to show the freshness of the salads by grabbing the tomatoes from a bowl filled with water and then drop it into the salad bowl. The water droplets from the tomatoes really sparkles and kind of brought the shots to life. As for the last sequence, we made some finishing touch on the salad by squeezing on some lemon juice. We started off with top view angles shots because we have been using the wide angle lens from the last shots. And this shot have similar concept from the opening sequence where the lettuce throw into the bowl. Just that this time we are doing with a lemon and also a slower movement. As for the last shot, we switch back to the gimbal with a 90mm macro so that we can get a slow close-up shots of squeezing the lemons. And that's about it. Okay, hope you guys like this video. And as I mentioned earlier, this video was inspired by this guy called Daniel Schiffer. So remember to check out his stuff. And also remember to subscribe our channel and follow our Instagram. And lastly, as always, create, learn and have fun. And I will see you guys in the next video.